This stuff lights your fireman, the pilot lights out.
This football team is coming into our place. We're standing in our way.
This is a game of the heart. Focus and finish.
Week 14, this was the Crazy Eddie week in the NFL. It was insane. Hopefully this was something you were able to navigate from a fantasy perspective, but if not, I'm here to help you so football insanity doesn't do you in again. But first, this program is sponsored by Star Fantasy Leagues. You can find them at starfantasyleagues.com, and if you open up a new account, they'll match your initial deposit up to $500. So go give them a shot and test your skill against others. Daily fantasy games are all the rage because you can choose a new roster for each event you enter, and there's nothing better than the immediate payoff it provides when you win and you see the funds deposited into your account. Just enter the promo code RADIO, R-A-D-I-O, and you're in. All right, week 14, where do I begin? This was the first week where weather really came into play, and there was no game more affected than the Lions-Eagles game. But beyond that, something happened here that I preached all of last week, and if you weren't ready for it, it may have cost you a playoff run. Now, just before game time, we found out that Reggie Bush had sustained an injury in pregame warmups. And if you didn't have his handcuffed Joyke Bell or another serviceable running back to swap in at the last minute, you were screwed. Now, I had Bush in 2 of my leagues, and in one I was able to plug in Bobby Rainey, and the other I was able to stick in Marcel Reese, who was a decent play once we found out that Rashad Jennings wasn't going to play. Both of those guys came through with Reggie Bush type numbers, and without them, I probably wouldn't have advanced in either league. Now, if you're in the playoffs, you have to go in with the mindset that any one of your starters may be announced as out at the last moment, and you need to have a serviceable replacement on your roster ready to go. You should be spending today and tomorrow trying to make certain to take this potential issue out of the equation of things that can possibly go wrong. The next thing we need to discuss here is that sometimes you just need a little luck, literally. Now, I can't tell you how many people were on Andrew Luck all season and finally had enough and replaced him yesterday. Well, thanks to garbage time, Luck ended up with a league best 32 points for quarterbacks yesterday, and if you drafted Andrew Luck with the expectation he was going to put up 30-point days for you, you got it, and you got it right on time too, if you had the patience. Unfortunately, everyone's tolerance level is different, and some of us have the ability to remain more patient than others. To me, you keep running your studs out there each and every week, and if they don't perform and you lose, then so be it. But you fielded the best potential team you could. I can't stand these people sitting Josh Gordon and then saying, what the heck? I definitely get the fact that there's no one right way to do things because sometimes you can mix and match and it can work out for you. But to me, I save the mixing and matching for the lesser accomplished players. Mixing and matching with your studs is like trying to time the stock market. Can you get it right on occasion? Sure you can. But often just going with the best of breed and weathering the down troughs simply works better in the end. Hey, I'm really not sure what accounts for the odd coincidence here, but I can tell you for certain that many of our viewers that have Aaron Rodgers on their roster also have Phillip Rivers. Now, if you're someone who's in that boat, you aren't likely to hear whether Rodgers will play before Thursday night's game when Phillip Rivers takes the field against the Broncos. And if that's the case, you have to be one of those who plays Russian roulette on the weekends just for the hell of it if you pass on Rivers and try to play Rodgers. Now, I wouldn't give it a second thought, really, and to be honest, Rivers has such a great matchup against the Broncos it's not funny. The Broncos defense can't stop a nosebleed right now, and if they weren't able to seemingly score at will on most days, I don't know that they'd be more than a 500 team. All right, let's address this Gronk situation. He's done for the season, and at this point, I'm not even certain if he's going to play next year. So if you've lost him for your playoff run, you've got a problem. Now, expecting to replace his production is foolish. That's just not going to happen. This is where you look to mix and match and find the best available guy in your waiver wire that has the best potential matchup based on scheme that puts the odds in your favor for the player to succeed. You get as many points as you can out of it, and that's it. Now, one of the strategies I would entertain if you're not super happy with your flex spot is try to use one of the other Patriots receivers that may be on waivers as your flex. Brady is going to throw the ball to someone, and we've already seen this season that he's not shy in spreading the ball around. The Pats have already done this once before this year, and many of their lesser accomplished receivers have logged invaluable field time building up a rapport with Brady. Now, no one should be shocked if anyone on that roster gets heavy targets in any particular game or produces a big fantasy day. Today's Twitter question comes from @CarmenC, who wants to know if Toby Gerhart is worth picking up given Adrian Peterson's problems. Hey, why the hell not? Look, Adrian Peterson's got the groin, now the foot, and who knows if he's going to play the rest of the season. No matter how much he wants to play, the Vikings are out of it, and you can make the argument that they should just shut him down. Maybe they will. Gerhart has proven that he can play in the limited time he's been there the past 4 seasons. He can run it, and he can catch it too. And I would definitely pick him up as an insurance policy if you have Peterson, or even just for roster depth, as I discussed in the situation with replacing Bush earlier in the segment. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Gerhart had a starting gig next year on some NFL roster. His rookie contract is up, and there's talent there. Now, if you've got a question you want answered, hit me up with a tweet, and if I don't use your question on the program, I'll tweet you back with my best advice. And be sure to tune into Roto Experts Fantasy Football News, Notes, and Analysis segment every weekday. I'll be here to keep you current and ahead of the competition, and on weekends, come back for the widely popular This Week in Fantasy Football show as I team up with the King, Scott Engel, covering the week that was and the week that will be, answering your viewer questions. It is the boys and the Bears tonight, and this one is expected to be in the teens, with a stiff breeze bringing the wind chill down to the single digits. So crank up the fireplace and enjoy. For Roto Experts, I'm Mike Cardano.